Hello, my name is Shannon Rezanina, and I'm going to talk about Erik Erikson and Gordon Allport. First, I'm going to talk about Erik Erikson, and I just want to talk a little bit about who he was. He was born on June 15th, 1902 in Frankfurt, Germany. He married a lady named Joan Searson in 1930, and they had 3 children. Erikson was influenced by Sigmund Freud and Anna Freud. And I put a picture of him up here too and he just looks like a really nice guy. So, Erikson's main ideas, like I said, he did study with Anna Freud and some of her colleagues. So he did use some of Freud's ideas. He used the ego. But he did change it. For example, I put up here ego, the psychodynamic model to show how cultural contexts can affect ego development over the entire lifespan, not just during the first years. The ego strength during the first stage, a sufficient sense of trust is needed to outweigh residual feelings of mistrust, producing the basic ego strength of hope. And I really like that because that is when a child is small, baby, toddler, even into grade school, those ages, children need that sense of trust. They need the hope. So their parents are taking care of them, they're loving them, they're feeding them, giving them the things they need, the attention to help them, to grow and get into that adolescent stage, which that's the next one he talks about is the identity crisis. This is the adolescent stage. This stage can involve prolonged periods of identity confusion and identity crisis, which this is so true. When we go through adolescence, we're trying to find out who we are and, where we're going to go with our lives. It's very stressful. It is confusing to try to figure out what we're going to do with our lives and who we are and who we're going to be without our parents. So the positive development, this stage helps children to grow to be successful, contributing members of society. So if we give our children that hope and we give them the love, the encouragement, all of those things that they need, from babies into adolescence and above, beyond that, that helps them get the positive development that they need to develop those personalities. I really liked this article because it talked about how much Erikson loved his life. You could tell he loved his family, and he had a positive view for young children. I really liked that over Freud's negative outlook on things. So that's why I included a little bit about both of my authors, about their lives and their education, because I wanted to show how they did live their lives. And I think that makes an impact on how they make their theories too. And Erikson also, he liked to watch how children grew and interacted with each other and their environment. So now I'm going to talk about Gordon Allport. Gordon was born November 11th, 1897 in Montezuma, Indiana. So he was born in the United States, which was pretty cool. All the rest of them were born in Germany and over there. He married a lady named Ada Gould in 1925. He did go over to Germany and study, but he returned to the United States and he worked at Harvard University for the rest of his career. But during his career, he came up with some ideas as well about personalities. His definition of personality is the dynamic organization within the individual of those psychological systems that determine his or her characteristic behavior and thought. Personality traits are permanent dispositions to behave in certain ways. Different traits are revealed in different situations, which is so true. Our personality traits do change in certain situations, depending on who we're with. I mean, if we're at church, we can have different personality traits, as well as if we're at work or when we're with our family. It really shouldn't be that way, but it is that way many times. He talks about traits. Common traits are revealed by the analysis of data from a population and are artifacts of the method. Personality traits are revealed in the actual behavior of a real person. And this reflects how a person constantly reacts to a certain similar situation, which I liked that he put that too, because I believe we all tend to react the same to situations. And it's just part of our personality. So like if we, like some people like totally flies off the handle and freaks out about something, they're probably going to do it every time something major happens. Or there could be the person that just brushes it off, not a big deal, kind of person. So I like that he explained that, because it made sense to me. When I reviewed both articles, I thought they were both very informative about each of the theorists. The articles gave details about their lives and their education and how they came to their theories, in which I mentioned that before. I really believe, reading about all of these different theorists, I believe that the things that they went through in their childhood and in their life is part of the reason they came to their theories and how they came to them, because they all had different upbringings. Some of them didn't have a dad. Some of them, like Freud, he was totally obsessed with the whole sex thing. He was on drugs. I mean, all of these different things. And then you go to the other part of it, of another theorist that, they had good parents, they had a good marriage, loved his kids, that kind of thing. So then their theories are totally different and totally opposite. So I just thought it was pretty interesting. I liked both of these theorists, even though Allport, he did base some of his theories off of Freud. I still like his theories and where he came from. So, and I put my references down. I did Google my images from google.com, and then the two articles that I got were from CCU's library. So thank you. Have a good night.